The system fed you a big lie, and you accepted it without question because from the moment you were born, you were locked in a prison built on dependency. In school, they taught you teamwork. Society imposed on you how important networking is. You became a being waiting for others, approval, seeking support, asking for permission. But I will tell you the painful truth that will set you free. The secret to success lies entirely in being alone, and this is not a deficiency, but rather the most deadly strategic advantage of the modern age. Machiavelli says in The Prince, "A wise ruler should rely only on his own power, not on others." And these words are more relevant today than ever, 500 years later, because the system deliberately created the mythology of community, cooperation, and connection to keep you weak. It has marketed social dependence as a virtue to make you controllable, predictable, and obedient, but in reality, whenever you approach someone for help, whenever you wait for a mentor's approval, whenever you think networking will save you, you lose a part of your power. So why do history books always talk about individuals, not communities? Why are names like Alexander, Caesar, and Napoleon mentioned alone? Because they were the ones who figured out this fundamental lie of the system, who used loneliness not as a curse but as a weapon. Now it's your turn, but first you need to undergo a psychological operation. You need to kill the herd animal inside you, erase the "together we are stronger" programming that society has instilled in you, and accept the cold reality that no one will help you, because no one is coming. No one will save you, no one will invest in your vision, and even if this seems tragic to you, it is actually your baptism. Now I will teach you one of the fundamental principles of dark psychology. Perception is stronger than reality, and this was one of Machiavelli's deepest insights. The world judges you not by your true personality, but by the persona you present. Therefore, being unsupported actually creates a perception advantage. Because everyone underestimates you, no one sees you as a threat, even your enemies don't pay attention to you, and you quietly build your empire under this cloak of invisibility. You enter the ghost phase. What is the ghost phase? It is an operational mode where you completely withdraw from society's networks. Do not brag on social media. Do not share your plans with anyone, and where even your existence goes unnoticed. The psychological power of this phase lies in the fact that you carry a massive goal within you, but because you do not speak of it, that goal increases the pressure within your system. It builds up like steam in a pot, turning into physical energy, and this pressure pushes you to work at 2 a.m. while supported people are asleep because their energy has been depleted by seeking social approval. Yours, however, is dynamite waiting to explode. If you share your plans, your brain falls into the illusion that it has already achieved them, and you never want that, right? The system tells you that pain is bad, that you should stay comfortable, that things should be easy, but Machiavelli knew this. Virtue, or true virtue, is earned by going through hardship, and a ruler builds his character not sitting in a comfortable chair, but on the battlefield. That's why the pain of working with zero support, the exhaustion of sleepless nights, those empty moments when no one cares, these things don't kill you. Instead, they beat you, temper you, turn you into steel. And the supported man can never undergo this transformation because his path is soft and easy. A helicopter carries him to the summit, but his leg muscles are weak. When the wind blows, he tumbles. But you climbed that mountain, suffering with every step, and now your legs are steel, so no wind can move you, because you have become the mountain itself. Now let's get to the deepest truth. Why does the system encourage dependency? Because a dependent person is a controllable person. An employee who needs an employer's approval won't rebel. A young person who needs their family's support can't make radical decisions. An entrepreneur dependent on their partners. Capital compromises their vision, all of which are a form of slavery. One of Machiavelli's greatest lessons was this: freedom comes only from needing no one. A prince who enters war with auxiliary forces will either be defeated or, even if victorious, become a prisoner of those forces. That is why you must build your own army, create your own resources, and build your own empire single-handedly so that it truly belongs to you. So how do you do this? First, you need to transform your identity. You are no longer someone seeking support. You are the architect, the dictator, the general of your army. and you will constantly switch between these roles. As soon as you wake up in the morning, a negotiation begins between your weak self and your strong self. The weak you says, "Sleep a little longer, you're tired, you deserve it," while the strong you says, "Get up, there's a battle, weakness is unforgivable. You must win this battle every morning," because losing to the alarm clock is the first step toward defeat for the entire day. The system tells you that networking is necessary, but let me tell you the truth. Networking is for beggars, a distraction tactic for the powerless, because when you go to an event, if you have nothing of value to offer, you will be just one of thousands of people handing out business cards, smiling to your face, and forgotten behind your back. Now let's talk about dark fuel, because the system tells you that you should only work with positive motivation, happiness, inspiration, passion, all lies, all quick-burning, unreliable energy sources. But anger, stubbornness, the desire for revenge, these never run out. As Carl Jung said, your shadow self, the dark emotions you suppress, that's where the real power reservoir lies. And most people remain weak because they reject this darkness, but you will integrate it. You will use it. When someone tells you you can't do it, you won't be sad. On the contrary, you will take that word as fuel. You will engrave it in your mind, and when you collapse exhausted at midnight, you will ask yourself, "Am I going to prove that fool right?" And that thought will lift you up. You will return to your work, because stubbornness and pride are 1,000 times more powerful than inspiration. Inspiration is like the wind. It comes and goes, but stubbornness is like a rock, unshakable, unchanging, eternal. There's another dimension to perception management: appearing weak. Sun Tzu said, "Appear weak when you are strong," and that's exactly what you're doing. No one takes you seriously. Your family still asks, "When are you going to find a real job?" Your friends think you're a dreamer, and you just smile and keep going quietly because their disdain is your camouflage, their indifference is your cloak of invisibility, and one day, maybe a year from now, maybe 5 years from now, you'll suddenly emerge with results, with money, with power, and then their jaws will drop, they'll want to write history, they'll say we did it together, but you'll remember that empty room. Let's talk about discipline, because the system told you that motivation will get you there, but motivation is a feeling, it comes and goes, it's unreliable. Discipline, however, is a protocol, a law, and you must be a dictator to yourself, show no mercy, accept no excuses, because you have no boss to make excuses for you, no team to comfort you, only the mirror exists, and every evening you will have to answer to yourself in that mirror. Did I move the needle today, or did I just waste my time pretending to be busy? Now it's time to tell the darkest truth. When you truly succeed, those who left you will come back, and this will be the hardest part of the test because the lonely child inside you, the child who never received support, will want to embrace them, will want to say, "See, they love me." But if you fall into this trap, everything you've done will be in vain. Machiavelli taught you this. People's love is conditional and based solely on benefit. They support you today because you are now valuable, but tomorrow, if you lose, they will be the first to leave. This is what the system tried to hide from you. True power comes from solitude. True freedom is not needing anyone. True success is doing it alone when everyone says it's impossible. Now, what will you do with this knowledge? Most of you will close this video, text a friend, complain that life is so hard, get 10 seconds of sympathy, and nothing will change. But some of you, the 1%, will hear these words, and something will stir inside you. You will experience a moment of decision, and after that moment, you will never be the same again. You will enter the phantom phase. And if you're ready to enter this phase, share it in the comments so you can be an inspiration to others. You'll follow the protocol, use dark fuel, accept the pain, and one day, while everyone watches in astonishment, you'll build an empire out of nothing, and then they'll understand. But it will be too late because you'll already be on your throne, alone but invincible, unsupported but undeniable, and Machiavelli will smile in his grave because another student has learned his lesson. True power never comes from the crowd. It always comes from that one person who remains alone but never bends. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.